Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to my presentation today, my contribution that I want to give for the month of Copilot June 2024. The talk will be co-piloting my autism and tech. And with the way that I worked with capitalization of my talk, you can also see it as coping my autism and tech. Um, Coping is something very, very controversial in the autism world, but it's an easy word. This means doing as normal as possible, as being as productive as possible, as people without the diagnosis. Unfortunately, a lot of time this leads into burnout or being very, very burned out each night when you come down and crashing on your couch and having no quality of life anymore next to your job. But I believe and I think with copilots and a generative AI, you can cope in a good way by reducing your cognitive workload and reducing some disabilities and give it to the AI. So coping on a way that you are not hiding and being burned out in your couch at night. So I am Dennie Declercq, and I have my own business in Belgium, a non-profit called Dsoft, and we are connecting the social industry with the IT industry. There I'm president, developer. I call myself also IT coach. On Twitter, I'm X. I need to say, should I? You can follow me at Dennie Declercq. And I'm also Mr. Dreaming as Believing. You really should call me Dreaming as Believing. And I am very, very proud that I'm a Microsoft MVP. The content of today will be, I will talk a little bit of theory about autism. Then I go into deeper into my autism. The reason is autism has a whole spectrum. And what I experience is different than other people on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum. And then I will talk about three topics that are hard for me. That is cognitive workload and how I cope it or co-pilot the cognitive workload. And I also will talk about tangibility and also context blindness, but this will be in the same chapter. So start talking a little bit about autism. So as I already said, autism is a spectrum. And if you talk about the spectrum, something is really important. That's the following statement. All of us, so the people on the spectrum, are different. Some are overstimulated, some are understimulated. Some talk too much, some talk too little. But one thing is the same. Our brain works different than the odds. And ask us what we need, what works for us, and also what doesn't work for us. And one more thing, never ever judge. And on the autism, so it's a mental diagnosis, call it. If you have the diagnosis, or it's, let's say, the medical way of dysfunctioning your brain and how the diagnosis, you can say, you can talk about three big topics: central coherence, executive functioning, and the stimuli response system. Talking about central coherence is the connection between places, people, thoughts, and things. So how is everything glued together? There's a saying that people on the spectrum don't see the global picture, and I do believe this. Executive functioning is everything that you need to do, performing tasks in your daily life that requires thinking, concentration, analyzing, and context switching. So there's a big part of our job, in our job life, at least as a developer or as a citizen developer or as an IT person. But it's also part of, let's say, just part of what you do day to day, even cooking a dinner, doing your groceries. And of course, autism is also a lot about the stimuli response system, the workload that you need to perform and accept external stimuli and cope those feelings. So there are stimuli coming, and nearly all of the time it's not what you need. You have too much stimuli or too little. And then you need to find a way in your brain to give this a place, that stimuli. And this is also workloads that is coming from your same mental capacity that everybody has. It's not only this, also the next chapter is about co-piloting my autism and tech. Then I will talk about a few more theories that are really, really specific to me and that I will also go into deeper on in this talk. Context blindness. Context blindness is really the why of some things. Context in life is everything. There's a saying also in IT, context is key. But for a lot of people at autism, context is not clear because there is a context blindness. One of the really good things of autism is don't seeing the context. The context by I started a non-related, well, I started the work-related stuff. Let's say your colleague got an agreement to work on a project. He or him or they got a deal. You don't get a deal. If you have context blindness, the chance is big that you take it on yourself. Is it my fault? Is my boss hating me? Am I too bad? But maybe your coworker got a deal just because that business requires very specific domain knowledge and your colleague is expert in that domain knowledge. If you know the context, if you know everything is transparent, it will be way more easier to accept. Maybe a next deal will be better into your person. So the same thing as my slides. Is something happening right now? Or why is something not happening as expected? So context blindness is really something that we can fix with AI, with Copiloting. That's the reason that I really have it here included. As I said, why is an exception maybe somebody, but for somebody not always. And under which situations, again, that is a context, are decisions made? Yeah, and as I said, understanding this will it make way more easy to handle productive and or to handle as expected. Why is somebody acting as he does, he or she or they does? Let's talk a little bit more about cognitive workload. Life is about energy, and some people are saying this is not true. What is energy? Energy is not only the power plug, everything is energy. There's also a reason why the terminology burnout exists, because if a person is burnt out, they are literally burnt out of internal energy. For this reason, they don't have energy enough to do X, Y, Z anymore. And people with autism are not dumber or less smart. We have just more stuff to process. So everything also, our brain operates on energy, call it life energy. And we need more stuff to process than people without autism. That may reason that everything takes more energy, and that maybe we cannot do everything as expected as everybody else. Stimuli we need to process, context calculation, because we are context blind. We need to do a lot of research and calculations and expectations about the context of a situation. And of course, if there's what you need to do to have an accepted behavior. So we need to do a lot, to be honest. So let's say we can use the little help with cognitive workload, even that we have cognitive capacity. Rigidity. They are saying that people with autism are rigid. Let's say rigidity is the inflexibility to change track. I'm quite rigid, to be honest. Yeah. And if we need to change track, by example, in the IT world, this can be changing from language, changing from code stack, tool stack, changing from framework, and knowing already that we need to do execute way more than others, we can be more hesitating to change some stuff, even if it's expected. We can even be more anxious. We can have a scared reaction. We can react very scared. We can look scared. We can be in panic for reasons that people with autism wouldn't be in panic. And we may temper not to act or not to do something or not to escalate something because of anxiety and not knowing the context and all the executions, what to do, what will be the outcome. Maybe the outcome will even be worse than it already is. And to be honest, for me, in IT, I waited way too long to do a major platform upgrade for something that we are building at Edisoft, or to inform a customer just for those reasons. And it's not good, to be honest. And is autism an excuse? No, but is it stuff that maybe we can use a little bit help with AI? I do believe this. Let's look at how I do Copilot my cognitive workload for today. So everything here is my autism, my cognitive workload, my stuff. It's me. I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about people on the autism and saying things about JavaScript. No, I'm not talking about me and my context. For me, switching from my C# mindset to a JavaScript mindset is really, really hard. And so I love Blazor, but even in Blazor, sometimes you really need to do some JavaScript. I can use, and I do use Visual Studio Code, or Code, and Copilot to work on some JavaScript, or to write some JavaScript when I really need that kind of JavaScript. And then we can start with asking very important questions, because here we're talking about AI, and if you work with AI, you always need to ask very important questions, and ethical questions, and important questions in general. By example, do I really learn JavaScript on this way? And here I have a very important answer, no. But to be honest, I don't need to do. My job is to validating ideas about accessibility. And I love to port them as soon as possible to Blazor or other .NET methodologies. So, for example, you see something on accessibility like changing a hover in a text box and the view. For me, the way that it's not needed to do that in JavaScript. But sometimes it's easier to validate. So it's simple again. If you have a limited cognitive workload, it is simple. Choose your priorities wisely. Here a nice thing, and it's a different scenario. You will see some different scenarios. So start a unit test. Let's say I never did unit testing before. Yeah, I was a bad developer, you can say, but in fact I'm still here. I wouldn't be too bad maybe. But starting a complete new methodology, even in my favorite language stack, C#, takes a lot of energy. How do I simplify this? Can I use it the right way of coding with as minimal effort as possible? So I really started asking to write some unit test with Copilot, and Visual Studio was this. And it wrote the initial unit test, and I run them, they succeeded. And then when this is running, I was learning them to reading this, and I could even go asking Copilot both some why is this a unit test, or are you, by example, doing this assert dot. And after I got started with Copilot, I really started learning some basic, like washing a plural side cogs or doing some other research. So here it was another case than in JavaScript. Here I wanted to learn unit testing, but I wanted to make the starting learning process a lot easier. And you can say that the Copilot here is my teacher. Hand in hand, we are finding on ways to unit test a project. My spelling and grammar in English is bad. I'm Dutch speaking. I'm from Flanders, and a lot of stuff that I do is self-taught. Not a lot of, to be honest, everything is self-taught. And as I said, you cannot learn everything. I can learn a new English course to be better, but again, mental workload, again, resources. So maybe we can use some writing assistance. I don't think it's a good idea to, for example, prompt ChatGPT to to write a blog article or to write a talk abstract. Oh, I shouldn't say. And we are not doing this. We are setting up a whole solution in Visual Studio Code, and we use Markdown files. And if you work with Markdown files, you really can Copilot it. Really crazy. Now, we can start with some ethical questions right now. Should we do this? And is it authentic? Should we do this? I think I don't think my vision is completely different than just asking to write a text or a poem. It's really like writing in code. It's the same way it's iterating over the stuff, it's iterating over alineas, making other choices. And for this reason, it is also authentic because you really have deep control on it. It really says what I want, my vision, what I want on that way, but with perfect spelling and grammar. And here I should ask myself some questions. For example, and the answers are really important. What is your core business? I think if you are a writer, maybe there are even cases for doing it. For example, a writer is one that does lecture spectrum, but let's say, yeah, you know. But what is my core business? Inventing accessibility stuff. And for this reason, I need to write stuff to be seen. So it's not my core business. What do you bring on the table? If it's really the best literacy in the world or something else? And always focus on your focus. Your focus is your core. And for the stuff that is not your core, you can use some assistance. Say for patterns. I started off with, I'm not that good in patterns to be honest. So I started up looking, for example, on YouTube or on a blog from another amazing community member. Then you see the start folding structure. Start with the structure, do a decent naming conventions, and then yeah, then really Copilot can write loads of code blocks, really loads of code blocks. And you can communicate with it like chatting in the debugger. I really do love this functionality. It's power, to be honest. It's really writing triple or even more as much code in the same time. And to be honest, that's what we all love. If you're working as a volunteer like me, or as a paid working, reducing the burden, being more productive, having more ideas. Programmers are not writers, programmers are creators of stuff about unique ideas for software. So the lines that you type is not a thing, to be honest. It's the creativity that you are bringing into the table. Like copying some documentation from the docs. If you start with a new NuGet package, then start to ask Copilot to explain all the stuff. And maybe you can also ask, are there better ways for doing this? Are there better implementations? Yeah, I love it, to be honest. Again, it's a powerful learn assistant. For now, I give you some demos. Um, and I will give you some demos. I will show you first which ones. We're going to do VS Code. We're going to do some C# to JavaScript. And we are going to do some MD Markdown blogging. And then I will move to Visual Studio. Yeah, and there we will work in my pet project a little bit. And then there will be some other chapters that I want to talk about. So let's open Visual Studio Code. So here you have my blog, blog project. These are the blogs that I write in English and Dutch, but also some social media posts. And I'm going to create a new LinkedIn article right now. New file. So I make a new file, mondofcopilots.md. I also have a spell checking already as a tool in my code. And my Copilot should be on. Okay, ones of Copilots. Let's start. I always start with a title, of course. my okay. I don't want an introduction for a LinkedIn article. It will be LinkedIn because I said the folder LinkedIn. I am recording a video for the month of Copilot June. I am very honored to have this opportunity to contribute. Okay, what I'm going to do right now, I'm not accepting this. First of all, it is not Copilot, it's Copilot. And I stop. So this grammar is perfect. My contribution will be about how I cope some autism traits with Copilot. Okay, I will share my experience with Copilot and how it helps to be more productive. It's a good way. This, of course, without having to. I love it. I couldn't do it better. The topics I cover will be cognitive. I love you, Copilot. How he comes on executive functioning. The technologies I cover are VS Code. Not with IntelliCode, not with JetBrains, no. So that I hate JetBrains, but we are not using this, and Azure AI. Okay. And it chases with a small p. I always forget. Why? Capitalization. Naming is hard, my friends. To the organizers. And I need to say something more. The video will be available. That's a difficult word for me, by example. Soon. Stay tuned. And of course, I need to sign this. This will be posted later on too. Yeah, I will use it. So, did I prompt it in a ChatGPT? No. Did it take more time to write it myself? Maybe. The other thing is, it is more correct. It is the spelling and grammar is way better. So that's, I'm very open and I use it. Now I will to use a new window because we also need to show you some JavaScript. And then I need the project code tests. So here you have a HTML page for names, and you can also run it. If I click here, open File Explorer. So now you're opening the page just. Very ugly. It's not marked up yet, but just to prove you some cases. Here I have end names, and then I have my names, and it's not working. So Dennie, Declercq. But I want to concat this, but the code is not here. To be honest, it's not something that I couldn't do in JavaScript, it's just to make an example and to make things up, you know how it works. And then we will use a JavaScript block in the head names. You already have it, enter your name. We have already placed for the script. Now I will do it something different. I will go here to Copilot chat. Where are you? Where are you? Chat. Please write a the script concatenating the first name and the last name and the output is. So please write the script. I didn't say the right names because it's not needed. It's already, as I said, going into the name output. And here I can put my cursor here. I will insert this. Just have a first look. Work first name. Yep. I know what happened. It's copied also the script. So again, sometimes you need to do something still yourself. You need to be kind of awakened. So what we have, a label for first name. First name is white. I just have a look. Name, and then we have a full name. We will save it. We will look if it works. Check it. Save. Go to my browser. Hit refresh. There's also an awesome book called Hit Refresh. Boom. Let's imagine that you can use this not only for concatenating, but really for experimenting with accessible IDs, like the positioning, the way that you make things visible, the way that you work with gradients, the way that you change your focus style. And then we can implement this in Blazor if I want to work with Blazor. This is the... This was the Visual Studio Code part. And we also have some Visual Studio. So here I have my pet project. It's about all my conferences. And I'm going to go to... I'm just having talks. Let's go. I'm going to the table storage service. And I'm just going to start here with a replace conference. And I'm going to ask Copilot. What happened? Copilot is not visible. Open chat window. And I'm going to pin this. No, I'm not going to pin it. I'm going here, so it's my chat. And I am going to highlight this. Go to my chat. Yeah, the validation, but I did the validation already in another place. Yeah, like the exception handling. So let's say we are adding here we are going to use the exception handling. So here, preview, will do it here, and I can accept this. And then I'm going to also ask, do the same, white. And I'm going to do a little bit of peeking. I'm going to, here I have my services, and I don't have conference service test. Okay, and do I have already my replace is not implemented? I'm going to comment this. And I am going. Here I'm going to copy this for some reasons. And I see that I hear it worked at mocks while my unit testing is working with fakers. Can you, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to paste this. And I'm going to comment this out. And I'm going to ask, and normally it should suggest right now. No way. So that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Not at all. So, It's not what I need. It's not needed here. I'm going to work with my fakers. So old conference entity is equals fake punt dot dot conference dot first, and here I will work fake. Okay. No, my service is not working again. Works. So what are we going to do? Fake. Okay, this will work. Sorry, I have a little mistake. I need to work with my replace. Yeah, sorry. Act. Arrange. I need to act. And then we're going to test. Tests. We're going to save this. We're going to test this. I'm going to test this. So that happens if you work with Copilot, it helps. But again, you need to be very, very aware of, yeah. So replace doesn't exist. True. Where do I still have replace? Hmm. And I have my test. Now I need to go to my tests. View test view test, test window. Going to my tests. Going to the test is running. Let's have a look. It should be so it's running the tests. And this is specifically this one. Okay. Replace conference is not working. Let's say I will finish this later on, but I will first continue my talk. But as I said, it's helping me, but I am not there yet. To be honest, this one maybe is not prepared good enough. Maybe I can do a little check. I can do my fakes. Go to my fakes. Go to my conferences. Oh, I go to my conferences. Here they are there. I continue my talk. I will fix this later. So I also use Copilot for nice title slides. I love modern and shiny title slides. Nearly all of my last talks are made by Microsoft Designer and the Office 365 suite, and this one too. It looks more inspiring without loads of work. For example, I also use Microsoft Designer for marketing. We are a small non-profit run by 4 volunteers, and we have really big ambitions. So currently we have more time to work on projects that we have customers. So we need to find new customers, we need to do more marketing. And marketing, to be honest, is really hard for us. We are not good in this and we don't have financial resources to fix it. So our device via Microsoft Designer save us a lot of time. Context blindness. I ask a lot of stuff to Copilot. Being Copilot, and here I'm not going into politics. You can also ask a lot of politics if you don't know it. But I give another example here. I'm going to, let's say, at this time to a medical situation, unfortunately, and somebody says, don't Google it. But if you ask the right question on Bing Copilot, you get so much information. It even helps yourself understanding what's happening. Again, the context. If you need to go to a clinic to go to an examination, really understanding what will happening and why and what the steps will be. Yeah, to be honest, that really helps me a lot. But also if I travel, stuff in the local area, converting money, asking for food prices, converting. For example, I give this talk once in Lodz in Poland, and asking about what's good there to eat, and yeah, of course it is a pierogi. But then also asking the price, but then you have it in zloty, the Polish currency. But then converting zloty to euros, so where I live, yeah, it's really helps me. Um, Important slides for a hard topic. Sometimes there are hard topics. I giving lectures at EDSoft about my anxiety also and about autism, and I have a traumatic background. And I really do believe in the context of tangibility. So making something really tangible, you can do this with pictures. So I can generate images in DALI, or even at this time also in Bing Copilot, to, let's say, regenerate the circumstances stuff. We don't need to go into that trauma again. And of course, we are not talking about harm, but I've been unfortunately traumatized as a child in a clinic. I cannot go back to that clinic again to take pictures. First of all, they wouldn't allow me to do this. There's a legit reason for this. But also, I still wouldn't dare to go to there. So if you can, but if you really want to talk about that anxiety, it really helps to make it tangible. So regenerating some child hospital rooms or corridors, yeah, amazing, amazing to be honest. So I give you some demos, not too much for time's sake. I'm open first. Bing. Next week I am going, going to Kansas City, USA. Can you give me some places to visit? That's really helps me. It's way more easier for me, way more. Yeah, as is co-piloting my autism and tech, I'm going to Kansas City for a tech conference, and I also want to have some free time. And yeah, asking this is so much easier for me than searching everything on TripAdvisor, for example. Is there a nice theme park? I know it is, to be honest. I've been there 2 years ago. Yeah, it's was of fun. It's true. Yeah, and there's a new coaster, but unfortunately I will cannot go this time. Okay, give me some barbecue, some BBQ restaurants, 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 restaurants with popular dishes include prices. So here you see I also have my history, and I asked something about, yeah, a medical thing, for example, but then in my own mother tongue, and I'm not going too much showing this, but you can see that I open and use it. That's a proof that I really use it. So yeah, and I've been to Joe's already. It's amazing. So yeah, it helps. Okay, no, I want to have something more. Yeah, I love it, to be honest. Very less time to find it out and going to all the websites via TripAdvisor to when going to the website. I'm going to just one new thing. Generate the picture of nice webs in Kansas City. I'll try to do this. I think you can, my Copilot. Oh, I'm hungry. I'm hungry, but the good thing is time of recording here is noon in Belgium, so I will need to wait to next week to eat those amazing wraps, but at least I can already eat some lunch this noon. So you have seen a lot of how I use Copilot. I know the unit test wasn't succeeded, but maybe I proved my case because my talk was not about unit testing. My talk was about how I learned it and how I play with it with Copilot. I think that well really made sense. How I learn with it, and I use it already in production for a lot of cases. I have some resources you can follow. And thank you a lot for the opportunity.